So welcome to the SRT Red Line Part 2. The weather has delayed this video by a few days. It's been pretty terrible. We've got 6 stations, 6 unexplored parts of the suburban areas of Bangkok. We're heading for Chatuchak, but we're going to start from the north in Kan Kheha. It's definitely a sunshiny day. I can see clearly now as the song goes. This is Kan Kheha, and I just had a look on that side of the track, and you've got the back end of the airport, the cargo, the maintenance areas. Not really worth much looking at, but I will show it anyway on the video. Our focus is on Kan Kheha village, which is that way, and according to Google Maps there's not a lot to see, but we'll see about that. We're going to head up Kampang Pet 6, Soi 7 road. I noticed on the corner there's a sign for a pool villa, and if this is such a small village as it looks like on the map, then it'll be interesting to see what that pool villa is like. Anyway, like all these roads, they inevitably go over the Khlong Prem Prachakon Canal on the bridge. From here we're going to head into town, straight down, take a right, have a look for this pool villa. Checked out the pool villa on Google, 600 a night, great if you're getting an early morning flight from Don Mueang. I just assumed, because it's so out the way, that it was one of those places where you parked your car behind the curtain, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're going to have a look at the rest of the village of Kan Kheha. Well, as they say, there's nothing quite nice as messing about on the river. That's the village of Kan Kheha, where everything you need is pretty much available in one street, including 3 7-Elevens, a market, lots of street food, 4 pet shops, 3 very busy barber shops. There's probably more around. There's a lot of hair around here, obviously. The pool villa tucked away. Every small village needs one of those. And provided the weather holds up, we're going to head off to Laksi now. So after exploring, 3 stations now, alongside this busy main road, experience tells me that the scenery is not as pretty on this side than it is on that side, but we've got to give it a fair crack of the whip, so forget the mushrooms, let's take a real trip to the other side. Well, finally, I did find something pretty, and it's pink. That is a sight for sore eyes. It's the MRT Pink Line station under construction here at Laksi, and it's slated to open in 2023. It's a monorail, which means it should actually take a bit quicker to build, but the Pink Line does go across a lot of intersections, and a heavy rail system such as the BTS or MRT wouldn't be able to snake its way under the flyovers so low towards the ground as you can with a monorail, so I suppose it does actually make sense. Well, the Pink Line is definitely going to make life a lot easier getting across parts of the city. It's almost enough to make you want to move to Minbury, isn't it? Or maybe not. Anyway, there's a market around here somewhere. I'm hungry, and that is the great thing about Bangkok. Everywhere you turn, there's something to eat, unless it's lockdown, of course, and it's not. If you are a regular visitor to the government complex in Laksi, then you'll be very familiar with sitting in traffic on this part of Thewasunthon Road. I've just come from Laksi District Office MRT station, the brand new Pink Line, and then the next station there is Government Complex. That is right outside the Government Complex, and I'm wondering, are they going to build a skywalk directly from the station into the Government Complex so you can get to the lovely people at Immigration or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that little bit quicker? You could easily be forgiven for assuming that Laksi is just another part of the urban sprawl surrounding a noisy intersection along the Vipawadi Rangsit Road, but deep in the heart of this community is a village just like Kan Kheha, which was founded from a settlement along the Prem Prachakon Canal, and that is where we're heading next. At the heart of every village is the market, of course, and luckily I didn't turn up with an empty stomach because I'd still be in there now. I think there's definitely no shortage of food available. If you continue up that way, you go past the Laksi district office and then it's onto Thewasunthon Road, and I think that concludes our look around the village of Laksi. Well, this is Thung Song Hong. It's a grey day and the clouds are coming and going, threatening with rain. If this was a cowboy film, you'd call it a one-horse town. There's not a lot around here, so I'll safely say this will be the quickest guide to a station area on the whole video. The only action is around Soi 25, and if you go down that Soi over the canal bridge, there's a tiny little area, wouldn't even call it a village, and then all the streets off that are residential, so if I took my camera down there I'd probably get arrested for spying or something like that. Anyway, I'm standing on the brand new dam retaining wall here alongside the Khlong Prem Prachakon. This wall spells good news for the local communities who have been cleared off the land to make way for this wall, because that means they'll get brand new social housing built in the next year or so, so everyone's a winner. Let's get over to the other side of the track, see if there's any action over there. Well, despite appearances, this is still a fully functioning railway station here at Thung Song Hong, and I've managed to locate the old sign, crumbling in a pretty bad state, leaning up against this old column. It got me thinking, when they do eventually withdraw passenger services from these tracks and everybody has to use the Red Line, that'll only go as far as Bang Sue, and it'll beg the question for years to come, why didn't they just build the Red Line as originally planned as far as Khlong Prem? Anyway, that's Thung Song Hong area. Not a lot around here, like I said. I didn't go to that side of the road because there's not a lot. I suppose the Rama Gardens Hotel does deserve a couple of pictures. It is a nice place, but there we are. Let's head on to Bang Khen. Well, we couldn't have chosen a better day to visit Bang Khen. The weather's fantastic. This area is a hive of activity compared to Thung Song Hong. Here we've got Hopewell structures, art galleries, canals and a beautiful temple, and that is just for starters. Well, it looks like the art gallery's off the menu anyway. It's closed until the end of the month, but I did come here last year. Some of you might just remember that. A real slice of Khlong life here in Bangkok, and once upon a time, of course, a lot more of Bangkok was like this. Canal side communities living in places that looked a lot like this. This is the point on the Khlong Prem Prachakon where the Khlong Lai Diao comes right across it, and in the background just over there is a very elegant Wat Thewasunthon temple. So right here in Bangkok railway station, you've got the best collection that I've seen of Hopewell structures straddling the whole station all the way down about 50 metres. And the station master says there were more trouble than they would have been worth to demolish them, and they'll probably be here for a few more decades. One thing you may have noticed in particular on this video is that there's a lot of construction work, reinforcement work, improvements being made alongside this canal. This is in fact a dam construction project designed to raise flood defences, improve wastewater management and drainage, as well as build a nice walkway alongside it in case you come and fancy a stroll. But one consequence of this is that a lot of communities living alongside the canal have been made homeless, almost 3,000 households in fact, and there is a major project in progress at the moment to tackle this problem. The social housing along here is part of the Baan Mankong Project, which is a collaboration between the Royal Thai Army, the Community Organisational and Development Institute and the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, designed to get these communities into proper housing with proper sanitation and facilities. Each household gets a loan which they repay over 15 years at a fixed interest rate. It's all designed to raise the economic and social aspects of these communities' lives, and from what I can see at the moment, it's an incredible success. Well, the police told me if I wanted to shoot outside the front, I had to come back a little bit later because they were having a large transfer of prisoners coming in, and it probably wouldn't look good if I'm shooting this for YouTube. Anyway, this is the Khlong Prem Central Prison, maximum security facility for those serving less than 25 years. It also houses the Lard Yao Central Women's Prison. This was established in 1944 due to increasing demand on the Bangkok Corrections Facility during World War II, and it was upgraded to a proper maximum security facility in 1972. This station, along with Lak Hok, were meant to be future stations added later, but I suppose whoever won the construction contract said we'll build them all at the same time. That's great for this video because there's a great temple around here to look at. Plus we've got a spine-chilling ghost story to tell you a little bit later. So let's enjoy the fun and games and the weather here at Wat Samian Nari. I better not lean against this too much. I'm 73 kilos with my clothes on and obviously 65 without. Anyway, I'm at the back of Wat Samian Nari, and the reason why I cut through this temple was I wanted to get over a footbridge that used to be here. Obviously Google Earth is well out of date. I was here 3 weeks ago and I was shooting off that bridge, and a lot of this dam wall reconstruction work was just starting. And this housing project is now well under progress, so it goes to show how quickly they're moving around here with this project going forward. This is part of the same project as the one going on a kilometre up the canal that way that we looked at in Bang Ken, you know, the bridge with Nam Mong Wan Road. So good to see everything's moving quickly, so that's good news, apart from the weather of course. So that is the elegant, the beautiful Wat Samian Nari temple, also known as the Temple of Cats. And at one point I was completely surrounded and I was feline really scared. Feline, really scared. Get it? I know, it's a terrible joke. Let's get going. You know, one thing I've just noticed about Wat Samian Nari is that there's no railway station around here. Plenty of trains. So this ghost story involves two women dressed in black haunting the railway line that runs alongside here. But first I've got to tell you two backstories to prepare you for the grisly details. Now this is a pretty well-known story. Anyway, backstory number one, a taxi driver picks up two young ladies from Ratchadapisek Road and they ask him to drive them here outside Wat Samian Nari. Anyway, when he pulls up here, he turns around to get the fare and they've completely disappeared. The second backstory involves a young man driving back from RCA. He picks up two young ladies dressed in black. They ask him to drive them here. When he pulls up here, he turns around and they've completely disappeared. Now, the next part of the story, I think I better tell you over on the railway tracks. So the next story is about what happens after the young man and the taxi driver step out of their cars to investigate this sudden disappearance of the two young ladies that were sitting right there next to them just a few minutes earlier. And they're drawn towards these screams coming from the railway tracks, so they go over to investigate. And what they see is pretty horrific. The two young women have been cut in half at the waist, trying to drag themselves along, screaming, and there's blood everywhere. The story goes is that these two young women got hit by a train at the railway crossing just back here on their way to their mother's funeral at Wat Samian Nari, and their spirits haven't had a chance to grieve in the real world, so they're stuck in limbo. And this story haunts taxi drivers who apparently will never take anyone towards Wat Samian Nari in the early hours of the morning. And this story still haunts taxi drivers who will not take passengers towards the area of what's in. Oh, it's okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Our final station in part 2 is Chatuchak, and from the view I got from the platforms, there's not a lot around here, but there's a lot of SRT land that's about to be sold, and in 5 or 6 years time this is going to be a hub for business, shopping, condos, all that kind of thing. We're going to have a quick look around, and then I'm going to head for the Khlong Prem Prachakon. This is always what happens in rainy season. You set out with good intentions and normally about 3 or 4 p.m. it all comes pouring down just like today. But I'm dry, I'm under the bridge carrying Ratchet of Pesek Road. There are a bunch of garbage boats moored here, but there's no smell, thank God. I'm going to walk back 100 meters that way. There is a wall where just recently some artists shared prizes of 100,000 baht for doing some artwork and paintings, so we've got to get some pictures of that, and then we'll see what else Chatuchak has to offer. I've taken a wrong turning and I found myself unexpectedly opposite the offices of the Khaosod newspaper, which was not the intention. I'm going to have to double back. The trouble is these areas, especially this one anyway, a lot of the streets that you should be walking up on Google Maps when you're following it look like dead-end streets. So there we are. I have to go back another way. Well, that just about wraps up our trip along the SRT Red Line. That was part 2, which inevitably leaves part 3, which of course is Bang Sue. We're going to look around the whole area, plus we're going to complete history on the Grand Station, so that's coming up shortly. Thanks to all the subscribers. I've almost hit 5,000, thanks to you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Leave your comments and your feedback. Take care, and I'll see you soon.